Okay, this is a little side note. It's not necessarily a section of the chapter, but it's just something that we're going to review to make sure that we're all on the same page as we start sort of going through graphing and how to graph and, the basics of the coordinate plane. So here's what we need. It's mostly vocabulary and knowing how to talk about the coordinate plane and being able to plot points. So here is the definition. The coordinate plane is made up of horizontal and vertical number lines that intersect. So it's a horizontal line, which is called the x-axis. So the one going side to side, left to right, is called the x-axis, horizontal. And the axis that goes up and down, the vertical number line, is called the y-axis. So you will see that these are numbered. So the horizontal number line looks like the number line that we, used for inequalities, going left to right, where the numbers get more positive or larger as they head to the right, and they get more negative or smaller as they go to the left. So it's just a number line. And then the vertical axis, the y-axis, is also a number line, where as it goes up, the numbers get greater or more positive, and as it goes down, the numbers get smaller or more negative. And this middle point here, where they intersect, is called the origin. Okay, and we name the origin with ordered pairs, which we'll talk about on the next slide. But the origin basically is that point of intersection. Okay, so if you are talking about the coordinate plane and something goes through the origin or starts at the origin or whatever, the origin is 0, 0. It is that intersection of the two axes. Okay, we can also describe the quadrants of the coordinate plane. So it is divided into 4 quadrants, right? Quad. And we name them with Roman numerals. This is quadrant 1. Okay, where it's on the positive side of the origin, both going to the right and up. So we call this quadrant 1. And then the quadrants go counterclockwise, in a counterclockwise direction going up. So this is quadrant 1. This would be quadrant 2. And then we go down. This is quadrant 3. And this is quadrant 4. Okay, so sometimes you'll be asked to describe the location of a point, and you name the quadrant in order to describe the location. So it's in quadrant 1 or it's in quadrant 4, or sometimes it is on the x-axis. If it's not in a quadrant, if it's lying directly on the axis, then we would say it's on an axis. Okay, the second part of this is ordered pairs. And we use ordered pairs to plot or locate points in the coordinate plane. So we're going to look at a couple points. We'll name them with an ordered pair. And then we'll do some plotting, sort of go the other way and plot. But for now, we name points with ordered pairs. So it is important, a couple things. The ordered pairs, when we use them, they always have to have parentheses. So this is important. You must name an ordered pair with parentheses. And they always go in this order. First, you give the x coordinate, so it tells how far you're moving left or right horizontally, the x coordinate. And then secondly, you give the y coordinate, which tells us how far we moved up or down to get to the point. You always have to go in this order. X must always come first, your horizontal movement, and y will come second. So let's look at point A here. We are asked to name point A. So point A is here in the first quadrant, right? We can see it's in quadrant 1. And horizontally, to get to point A, we go over 1, 2. So we went over 2. So our x value will be 2. And our y value, to get to A, we go up 1. So positive 1. We went up in a positive direction. So our point A is at 2, 1. Next, let's look at point B. Okay, notice point B, if we're going to locate it, we do not move off of the axes. It starts at the origin, and we don't move horizontally in either direction. So you can see here that we didn't move horizontally in either direction. So we are going 0 units left or right. So 0 is our x-coordinate of the ordered pair. And then we went down 1, 2, 3 to get to B. So this is -3 because we went down 3. Okay, and finally with point C, this one we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4 in a positive direction. So our x-coordinate is 4. And then we went down 1, 2, 3. We went down 3 in a negative direction, so -3. So the point C is at 4, -3. So order matters with ordered pairs. You always put the horizontal x-coordinate first, and then second you put the y-coordinate up or down. All right, okay, and then the opposite way, it's gonna have us plot points if they give us the ordered pair. Okay, so point A is at -2, 3. We always start at the origin. Start at the origin and we will move 1, 2 in a negative direction. Okay, horizontally negative, and then up because it's +3. 1, 2, 3. So that means that we have point A right here. Make that a little bigger. And we'll label it like that. Point A is at -2, 3. And if we were going to describe the location of this point, it is in the second quadrant. All right, let's do another one. Point B, 0, -3. Now this should look familiar because we just did this exact point on the last example. But for point B, we move 0 units horizontally. So we're not moving left or right at all because their coordinate is 0. And then we're going down 3 because it's a -3. So point B is right here. If we're asked to describe the location, point B lies on the y-axis. It's not in either quadrant, right? Because it's on the axis. So we can't say it's in quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. It is on the y-axis because it's on the axis going up and down. Okay, and then finally we're asked to plot point C at 4, 5. So we will go 4 in a positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our point C will be right here. And if we're asked to describe the location of point C, that is in quadrant 1. So that's it. That's all that this lesson is, just sort of a review of the coordinate plane and vocabulary associated with the coordinate plane so that we can do a bit of graphing and stuff.